We got the dog here, and we'll try to interview some people. And I think Jonathan should be there should be speaking in about 10 minutes, give or take. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't know we were allowed to bring a dog.
Yeah, I was experimenting, just kind of casually walked up, see what would happen, but everybody loves him here, so
Hi.
he seems very, very welcome, which is nice.
Yeah.
He's enjoying himself.
I would have bought one if I knew we could run.
Yeah, sometimes you never know, and then you're like, it's too late.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate the attention. No pressure. I have a little YouTube, so I'm interviewing people. I'm from the U.S., but wanted to cover the election here, and thought it's kind of a shame how third parties are shut out. So do you want to say a little bit about why you're here? No pressure.
Sure.
Cool.
No,
You're the best. Thank you.
I don't really want to be filmed.
Oh, I hear you. Okay, I can hear you and not film you, but
Okay.
that
Yeah,
works.
no,
Cool. Let's do it.
The Greens were shut out.
Yeah.
The debate. It's a national forum. They're a national voice.
Yeah.
They kind of screwed up too, it sounds like, but you know.
That's the interesting part. But then I guess like at the time they had the proper amount of candidates. And
Right.
It's a shame. I mean, there shouldn't be a punishment for trying to strategize in some specific ridings.
No, and it shouldn't have been so close to the deadline, like
Right.
hours before the
Right.
debate was going.
That was shocking.
That was, yeah.
Right,
It was
right. It's interesting to observe and analyze because in the U.S., like with Robert F. Kennedy, not that it's the same, but you knew he wasn't in the debate 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So it does seem very, very unjust and random.
Well, and then
they've been such an
and then they
institution.
platformed, I'm going to have to say this too, they
Yeah.
platformed the right-wing rebel media who
Sure.
aren't media, that's debatable, but they're certainly activists.
Very much, yeah.
They're certainly activists, and they certainly are registered as a third party. So
Right.
that was like
Right, you
salt
let
in
them
the
in.
wound.
Interesting, yeah. Right, insult to injury. Well put. Yeah. And are you feeling confident? Are you feeling confident about this seat? People seem to know and like Paul, and he's pulled off the unthinkable twice before.
He has. It's yeah, I sure hope so. He was a good MP, and I'm rooting for him. It's pretty close between him and the Conservative candidate and the Liberal.
Right.
And
yeah.
the incumbent is a good person too, but.
Well, that makes me think though. It's especially with Singh potentially losing his seat. Do you think the Green Party could be the major party in next election?
Well, we'll see, because the scuttlebutt is that Elizabeth May might lose her seat, so that's not going to be...
That's scary, right? Right. Good point. Good point. And then lastly, what do you think of the two leaders idea? Do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I like it. You know, we're a big country. We're supposed to be bilingual, but many of us are not.
Right.
I really like Pednault. I like May too.
Yeah.
He's a welcome addition.
Well put. Well, very nice. Thank you. You were very eloquent. I appreciate that. Good meeting you. Doge is stealing from us. Am I? Hello, guys. How are you? We got the dog here. He's not terribly. He's just kind of bored. You're bored, aren't you? But we're at the Green Party. The dog met Jonathan Pednault. That was pretty cool. It's nice when it's more minor. Things are more accessible. I can guarantee you, once you do a Liberal rally for Carney, or a rally for Pollywood, it will not be this accessible. I doubt I could bring the dog. I doubt I can enjoy this view. This is a pretty chill spot. So we're in. I still don't know how to say it. Nanaimo, I think. Nanaimo. Who knows? Who the hell knows? But we got a nice little. We got 20 people watching. That's not too bad for a non-Scientology thing. Bob Cox, nice to see you. Verity, nice to have you. Hello from Canada. Somebody was saying I couldn't get into Canada, one of ZDT's minions. Y'all are stupid. I got into Canada, stupid. Strip bars in Canada are awesome. Rue Saint Catherine, Montreal. That's more in the east side. But duly noted, Tink. How are you? People say Tink's a woman. I don't know. Tink is one tough woman if that's the case. Dog is happy. He took his second ever ferry ride, but his first long distance ferry ride of an hour and a half. I think he's kind of tired out. He's fallen asleep on me. Is this a Green Party, a bigger, medium? Is a Green Party a bigger, medium, or smaller party? Oh, I thought you were being silly. I would say medium. It's small, but it's medium because they have members of parliament, which is the equivalent to, like, I suppose Senate and a lot, or Congress. Really, Congress is the equivalent. So they have their own people. So in Canada, they're a pretty significant party, I would say. Certainly more significant than the U.S. Green Party, which is why it's interesting to be here. How are you? Good. Good, thank you. No pressure. I have a little YouTube from the U.S. and covering this election, and yeah, don't know if you want to say why you're here or what issue is most important to you, but I like all your gear. You look great.
That's the most important.
Yes.
The most important issues is that Paul Manley will win.
Yes. He's pulled off the unthinkable before, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was working on that campaign too.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
That was, when he first did it, was really unexpected. Tight race, so well done. Yeah.
I know, and the second time, actually, it was unexpected that he suddenly would lose.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a great disappointment.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's the only candidate who actually is experienced. He has been there and he has done a fantastic job the last time, and he was our representative.
Yeah, and spoke up against liberals a lot when they're over polluting, and
Yes.
was very consistent, which and had a heart closer to the people than to the corporations. Yeah, we need that.
So that's very important. He also, the Green Party is the only party that will hold the government no matter what it's going to be. They will
Right.
hold them to account to their promises. They will continue to defend the climate. Almost more importantly, they'll also hold them to the promises from before, that they'll change the election system and get rid of this old-fashioned first past the post.
It's very antiquated.
It's antiquated, it's divisive, it's stupid. So, yeah.
Well, I'm curious. Do you think the reason that the Greens were shut out of the debate so last minute is because they were maybe talking about that? Like, especially observing from the U.S., it seems like there's such an effort to try to silence any type of third party.
And I think that there is a tendency to do that, but I have no proof for that.
Sure.
I think it was an insult to, especially to Elizabeth May, who has been an amazing force for good in our government and always help them to account. And that's the Greens are the only party that will hold the government to account. And they might hold the balance of power because of the fact that the election is so close.
Right.
And I definitely have a prejudice that I don't.
I hear you. But that's part of it too. Is the argument that everybody needs to coalesce around the Liberals doesn't really make sense, because if a Green gets a seat, the Conservative still does not have that seat. So it's still not closer to a Conservative, portion than it was before. So I think it's an odd argument that people are trying, because it's not like the U.S. where the third party is really a subtraction from one of the majors. This case, it's about your representation.
Well, actually, right here, to my surprise, the Conservative candidate is just a few percentage points ahead.
I've seen that.
And therefore, if Conservatives win, then this is a big seat for them.
Right.
And but if Paul wins,
Right.
this is not only a seat less, but a seat for good.
Well, the ones more likely to win are the ones who've had actual experience in Parliament and have been elected. The last question I was curious, with his first term, I can't remember, did you knock out an NDP person, who's an incumbent, or a Conservative?
It's an NDP person.
So how were you able to, what was the strategy? Because it's unthinkable, or in a lot of, ridings, it's unthinkable it's not one of the three.
The NDP person is relatively new,
Interesting.
relatively inexperienced, and therefore not nearly able to be the same representative for Nanaimo.
Yeah.
That bulk.
Well, he's right. People knew his experience. And I think maybe that was the key. Is it's interesting to observe here where sometimes there's focus on the candidates, but a lot of times it's just purely on party. You vote the line. But if you actually have somebody of quality and make it about their experience and so I can see kind of how you did that. Well done. I can see how you'll get reelected, I think. So I wish you luck.
Fingers crossed.
Sure.
That's what
No,
we're
always good to
hoping
be
for.
cautious. But thank you for the good work. Very nice meeting you.
Nice
I'm
meeting
Dodge,
you.
by the
Good
way.
luck.
Pleasure. Thank you for all this. You're very eloquent. Appreciate it. PP is winning, folks. Well, we'll go to a rally, so we'll see. You want the grease to do well. Dodge is the only green I would support. Thanks, Dodge. I don't know if I'm agreeing. No, they're plastic straws and legal weed, though. I don't like the plastic. I like plastic straws. I like legal weed, so. Yell my name, bro. Nope, not with that name. They wouldn't get that in Canada because they don't have African Americans here. Only African Canadians. And a Green Party supporter, and sometimes I run out of weed. Word. That happens. Wow, we'll get in there. Think about to speak somewhat soon. Oh yeah, hey, come. Oh, they're already about to. Hey, want to say hi? Say hi to your friend. You can pet him. Loves attention.
We've already pet him once, actually.
Oh yeah, I remember. Good to see you. Hard to keep track.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He like pets their whole room pets him. We'll probably get a good seat. Guess we'll start. We got some violins. This is interesting.
We're just taking pictures now.
Thank you. As we get settled and ready for a powerful afternoon, we want to take a moment to recognize the incredible music that has been filling this space. Performing live for us as we gather is Vancouver Island-based Cree Métis folk musician Kenneth Shalfu. I was absolutely thrilled when I walked in because he was playing a Métis jig that I recognized from Saskatchewan. Kenneth brings together the rich traditions of Métis, Celtic, and Appalachian music with heart, soul, and
Thanks for the attention.
You can't help but feel it. His passion for storytelling through song sets the perfect tone for tonight's gathering. Please join me
There was
in
some
giving
food I
a warm
saved,
thank you
absolutely.
to Kenneth Shalfu for sharing his gift with us tonight. I'm also hoping we can prevail upon his goodwill to play us at least one more song as people keep filtering in and filling the space.
We might have some time to kill.
Thank you, everybody. It's absolutely honored when Paul asked me to play for you guys.
Well, you guys get some music. Green is niche.
I'm
It's
trying to
very
go through a
true. It's
little bit of
interesting.
golden slippers.
But hey, hopefully you're enjoying this. So the Green Party in Canada is much more significant than the Green Party in the U.S. and it's a very different system. And they actually have elected members of Parliament, which is kind of the equivalent of Congress. And before, they were actually in the debates. Last election, they were. And they've been in the news lately because they got shut out of the debates. Last minute, like, they got shut out 4 hours before the debate began. It was announced that they would be in there for the first time. So that's why I'm here. They're not, well, I mean, I'd be here even if it was third party anyway. But they're interesting. It's interesting to see. But I think there's an effort to try to eliminate third parties. Are the Canadian Greens crazy like all the other countries? I think they all believe in something similar. Depends on what you think is crazy. Someone asked someone what they think about Bezos flying a group of women into the sky for zero purpose. Oh, Bezos? I don't think they'd support that. It's very emission heavy. How is Bezos contributing to reducing emissions? Said DOA loves rainbows. Missions? Okay, you're enjoying this. Glad, Tommy. All right, cool. Thank you. You have to, DOA loves rainbows. You have to spell Oz. Are you intentionally sounding stupid? I don't know. Sounds like you are. Only 40 million people in Canada. So, yeah, more than Australia. I hear an echo, another empty room, just like a Liberal rally, says David F. Well, we'll go to the Liberal ones.
It's a song called Golden Slippers. It's originally an African-American spiritual, but it's eventually ended up becoming a fiddle standard over time. Thank you very much, guys, for having me. Go Paul. Go Green Party.
Oh, yeah. David, that's funny. I remember I went to that rally. I think you were paying attention to that stream. This is always interesting to go. And it is ironic because that rally in Wisconsin, you can see Kamala losing the election because I went to that rally at the state fairgrounds. I went to a Kamala rally, a Trump rally the same day. And Trump had a stadium filled, and Kamala had half of this room that was similar to the size of this room filled. So it spoke volumes. So, hey, you know, the Greens in Canada are doing about as well as Kamala. So that's pretty good. Quite good.
And just before we get going today, I wanted to acknowledge the many candidates for the Green Party of Canada that are here today. Jonathan Pednault. Naomi Hunter, myself, running in Saskatchewan West.
Nice to meet you, girl. Well, that's why you're here. I'm not a Green guy, but I like Jonathan. I think he's a good candidate. Yeah, he pet my dog, and it was very cool. My dog loves Jonathan Pednault. I'll say that. My dog really likes him.
Rainbow Eyes. Oh my goodness, is Rainbow Eyes here? Yeah. Yes, from Northwest Territories. Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Island candidates. Jessica Wigg, North Island, come over her. Chris Markowicz, Courtney Alberni. Kathy Code, Cowichan Malahat.
Anthony, funny. Yeah, Scott, that was a lie. It was funny because the narrative was Kamala had all these people, but when you actually, that's why I go to these rallies, to get the reality of things, same with Canada. But when you actually went to a Kamala rally, you noticed how empty it was, and that was the reality that wasn't being reported.
Incomparable.
Now, she had a full rally in Elizabeth May somewhere here.
And the man who today is all about
Pretty cool.
Paul Manley for Nanaimo Ladies Day. So I thought if I started calling these out, I could get a little bit of time for people to filter in. I would like to welcome Elder Lolly Good from the Land Acknowledgement.
Good evening. It is good to see you all. As an elder from my community, I have a protocol. I'm just going to go ahead with my protocol. And after I've done the blessing, I've been asked to do my Ice Whale song, which is an uplifting little song out of the phrase, "It's a really good day." Not every day is a good day. However, if we can uplift ourselves less than 10 minutes, it does something for us. So I'll just go ahead with my protocol. Siemna Sohan, Siemna Sietya, Siemna Schwalakwa, and the heck, Schweitzowa, Lolly Good Kana, Juanitama Lasquish, Tanisan at Nanaimo, Equapo at Seashell. Nanaimo Shi CME, Mostimo, Lashata Mahu Kama. honored elders, friends. I was born and raised Nanaimo, extended family group Seashell. Nanaimo Chief Mike Wise and Council invite you all to our sacred lands. I acknowledge worldwide all frontline workers who risk their lives on a daily basis in support of their city, town, and country. Creator, protect them all and their families. As I recite this blessing, think of others. Sisak Sien, Haichka Atanaquel, Tiquam, Lelamata, Atakikalus, Ikapti, Mosimo, Haichka Atasakis Atanaquel, Tiquam, we Atslachen Atalacanes, Sisak Sien Tiquam, at the top of Atanaquel, the Maxwell Development Step. Creator, thank you for this day. Please look after those who are grieving and for those who are sick. Thank you for the food today. Please bring blessing and medicine to our tables. Creator, please help us all today and every day. As mentioned, I have brought my hand instruments. You will see a green bag to the left, and you'll see a green bag here to the right. Please come and grab your own instrument, please, and line up along the walls here as we prepare for to sing this uplifting song. And we're going to dedicate this song to Paul, and I'm sorry, the other gentleman's birthday. So we are going to sing to the two gentlemen who have the birthday today.
Your comments are cracking me up, guys. I wish I could laugh out loud because your comments are making me laugh. I don't know what's happening, guys. I don't have it. Are we expected to pick up an instrument? I don't know how to play it. You get better. Want to say hi?
Gonna make some noise.
I guess so.
And do some rattling.
This is a new process. This is interesting. Okay, so I guess we all line up. What are we? I'm so confused, guys. We're all lining up. I don't know why. Do I have to get in this line? Do I not? This is a little awkward. Yeah. Okay. Carson, are you chilling? Yeah, you're okay. I guess I can be okay with that. Luckily, nobody gave me a rattler, so your guess is as good as mine, man. I guess I need to go. Doc, I'm the only one not in line. Doc, okay. Well.
Remember, we are dedicating this song to Paul and Jonathan, celebrating their birthday today. What you're going to have 3 Aitzquel. Aitzquel means good day in El Camino. So I'm going to raise my hand up and let me hear you sing out Aitzquel. Remember, you're singing to Paul and Jonathan.
I swell. Oh, there they are. Cool. I swell. This is worth going just for this. It's quite cool. I swear. I swear. Swear. Yeah, this is an interesting first rally to come to. But I feel very awkward sitting, but I swear. I swear. Canadian girl, I figured. That's why I wanted to go here, because it's very unique. And it's a unique representation of the segment of people, which is the rituals are fascinating. Favorite part. He's going up to the seat. This is a little too loud. You don't really get it. Yeah. Well, we're having fun here, aren't we? Nice well. Nice well. More cowbell. Needs more cowbell. Oh, they actually do that. I thought that was like a stereotype. Nice well.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Woo! There they are. Nice well.
Do enjoy your gathering this evening. I'm unable to hang around. I have had surgery not long ago, so I need to just get back home, and I'm still recovering. So do enjoy your evening this
Nice shot. Karen. And there he is. La Canaria. Well, that was very fascinating. Why do they ask? I don't know, dude. Well, this is why I travel, guys. This is why I cover things. Because little fascinating moments of human life that you might get a glimpse of is all the worth the travel. How embarrassing. It's all, yeah, I mean, it's kind of beautiful in this way, and a little amusing. I'm Canadian, never said anything weird like this far. Well, welcome to Green Party. Let me introduce you to a segment of your country that you know not of. Nice dog, thank you. Dogs are better than people. I appreciate it, I agree. Green Party, sure, soy boy. I love soy, I don't like soy. What policies is apply to thousands of variable components, problems country has, it is a problem. Green equals communism called. Stand for a lot of good, I don't know. Stand for a lot of good in my opinion. And David, you have to give me a $200 super chat for that.
Hello, everybody. It's Naomi Hunter here.
Well, that was fun, guys.
Green Party. I have a special request for all of you. Now, I know that you may have heard some rumors about me from Saskatchewan, and you're feeling a little scared. Therefore, not sitting as close to the front as you possibly could. But I'm going to ask all of you to get over whatever fear you have of redheads and move forward.
Been there.
And yeah, it would really be great if you could fill in these spots further forward. Everybody just move a couple seats forward. It would be absolutely fantastic. That was not a request, by the way. I thought pulling out all my titles there right before that would make everyone go, oh, okay, yeah, we better move forward. And I would also like to call Paul Manley, the man of the hour, back up to the stage here.
Paul Manley was a previous Green MP who got knocked out for re-election but trying to get a seat back.
You didn't read my resume. Do you all know who I am? Yes. Thank you all for coming out today. And thank you to Elder Lawley. Haichka CM Elder Lawley for the welcoming. Always appreciate you and the teachings that you bring, and the teachings that I've had from the Nanaimo people. I've done a lot of work over the years with Nanaimo, with doing elder stories, doing cultural videos as part of my own personal reconciliation process. Yeah, I am standing again for election in Nanaimo Ladysmith. Would you all recommend the Quana green again? Should we make the Nanaimo Ladysmith green again? You know, we face a lot of challenges in our community, and I don't know where to start. I guess I could start, I was executive director at the Unitarian Shelter for 2.5 years, and quite shocking to be working in that situation, to see the number of people in our community that were showing up homeless. And so, you know, at the door of the shelter, we saw people that were suffering from mental health, and addiction challenges, people that have been street entrenched for a while. But what really shocked me was the number of people with disabilities that showed up at the door. The number of people that were low-wage workers that showed up at the door. We even had a student show up at the door and stayed at the shelter for a while. Couldn't find a place to rent. And really heartbreaking was the number of seniors that were at the shelter. The oldest male was 83 years old. The oldest female was 75 and in early onset dementia. Is there something wrong with that? Yeah. 100%. We live in a very wealthy country. And there's no reason why anybody should not have a home in our communities. And what's happened over decades, really, it started in the 1980s with the conservative, Mulroney conservative government. They took programs that had been established in World War II and ran successfully into the early 80s, and they got rid of them. That was affordable housing and cooperative housing funding that they did. They cut taxes, and those tax cuts continued on into the 1990s with the Liberal government, and into the 2000s with the Harper government. And the people that benefited from those tax cuts, I might have got a few $1,000 back from tax cuts, but the people that really benefited were the ultra wealthy. The multimillionaires became multi-billionaires in our country, and services were cut, and affordable housing was cut, and cooperative housing was cut, and we're seeing the result of that now. We do not have the social infrastructure to provide to people who need affordable housing, that can't afford market rate housing. And we're always going to have people in our community that can't afford market rate housing. You know, people that have worked their lives at low wage jobs, people who have disabilities, people who are low wage workers, students, they all need access to affordable housing. And as a wealthy country, cutting taxes for the wealthy and shipping off raw resources for foreign multinational corporations doesn't help us serve our community. Yeah. The other big area where we've seen cuts is healthcare. Yeah. And so we have 20,000 people in this community that don't have access to a family doctor. And I had a young worker at the shelter who had a completely solvable problem, but couldn't find a family doctor and was misdiagnosed and had been to the emergency ward, which is, our hospital runs at 140% capacity. Our emergency ward is busy, and you can't blame healthcare workers for the stress that they're under, but she died. And she died because she couldn't get the help that she needed. And it was tragic. It was a very tragic situation for her and for her family and for her co-workers, who were all quite upset about it. And needlessly. And it's because we're not investing in the things that we need in our community. And the multimillionaires and the multi-billionaires, what do they do for healthcare? They get on their private jets and they head south. That's not the kind of system we need in Canada. We need to protect our healthcare system and ensure that it's properly funded and that we get proper funding to rebuild our hospital and to train doctors in this community and across Canada to ensure that everybody has the healthcare that they need.
Put a 1 if the sound is bad, guys. Put a 2 if the sound is okay.
It's not just affordable housing that's a problem. We've seen the cost of groceries go up. We've seen insurance go up. And what's causing that? We've got droughts. We've got wildfires. We have climate disasters, floods. And it's affecting our food supply. And it's affecting our insurance rates. And it's affecting our taxes. And it's affecting people who are having to rebuild, who haven't insured their homes or can't get insurance, because you can't buy insurance when you're in floodplains now. You can't buy insurance when you're in areas where there's lots of wildfire. And there's some clear causes to a lot of this, but climate change is at the root of it. And the loss of biodiversity and the way we do forestry in the surrounding communities. We have all these forests around behind us. They're not really forests. They're monoculture tree farms. And they're susceptible to disease, and they're susceptible to wildfire. And so we've seen beetle kill all through the interior and fires rage in behind them. And, we have programs where you spray glyphosate to kill off broadleaf trees. In the interior, it's aspen. You know what they call aspen in the interior? The asbestos tree, because it doesn't burn and it slows forest fires down. Here, it's alder and maple. If you've ever tried to make a campfire with a green alder or maple, good luck to you. It doesn't burn. And so we need that biodiversity. It's part of a healthy ecosystem. It protects not just the ecosystem for the creatures that are living in there, it protects our communities. So these are things I've been fighting for over the years. I've been working on projects around protecting biodiversity locally, trying to make sure that we have some more protected areas in this region because of the ENN land grant. 8,000 square kilometers was privatized. Every mountain and hill you see around here was privatized when BC joined Confederation. Robert Dunsmuir, coal baron, richest man in British Columbia, member of the government, got 8,000 square kilometers and $750,000 in 1887 to build the ENN Railway, which doesn't even run anymore. But the result of that is that we don't have the parks and protected areas that we should have in this region. The Nanaimo River watershed is 750 square kilometers. Does anybody know how much of that is parkland? Less than 2 square kilometers. Does anybody know how much of that is protected areas? Less than 11 square kilometers. 2 mountaintops for Vancouver Island marmots and a little bit of the estuary. Does that seem like a reasonable proposition to you? No. Should we see some biodiversity protection in our region? Yes. Would you like some parks and protected areas? When I was the member of Parliament for Nanaimo Ladysmith, I brought the Snawis, Staminas, Nanaimo, and Layaxon First Nations together in a meeting to discuss this very problem. And we talked about Indigenous conserved and protected areas and programs that the federal government has that are part of the UN Biodiversity Convention to protect 30% of our land base and 30% of our marine base by 2030. Because we need to have biodiversity protection in this region, and it needs to be led by Indigenous people. It needs to be led by the First Nations whose territory we reside in. As Greens, we do things differently in the House of Commons, and actually that's how we get things done. I don't know if you ever watch Parliament or Question Period. Does anybody watch that?
Jamie, funny.
Not anymore. Yeah. It's pretty juvenile. Yeah. It's pretty repulsive behavior. And I can tell you that as Greens, we do not heckle. We don't call people names. We don't interrupt people when they're speaking. We're respectful. We actually follow the rules in the House of Commons.
David, this is a Green Party rally, Canada election.
And I get yelled at by all kinds of different people, but I treat everybody as a potential ally, because at some point they may be the people I'm turning to help me out with passing legislation. And I got amendments to the medical assistance in dying legislation. Here locally, people from the disability community, diverse ability community came to me with 5 amendments to the medical assistance in dying legislation. They said they wanted better protection for people with disabilities.
Green.
And so I brought all 5 of those amendments to the Justice Committee. The other great thing about being a Green is I'm not the justice critic. I just asked the justice critic, are you okay with me going and doing this? They say, sure,
I'm
go
filming.
for the boots, you know, whatever you want to do. And so I went and I brought these amendments to the Justice Committee, and I got the Conservatives to support all 5 of them. I got the NDP and the Liberals and the Bloc to support 2 of them, and so 2 of them passed. And that's, you know, just being able to talk to people, build respectful relationships. I also got amendments to the Broadcasting Act. I had 24 amendments to the Broadcasting Act. Had a really good conversation with the Minister of Heritage at the time, Minister Guilbeault. And I got 12 of those passed with the support of the NDP, the Bloc, and the Liberals. And that means for the first time, the community element, CHLY, is recognized in the Broadcast Act. Regional Indigenous broadcasters are recognized in the Broadcasting Act. So those are the, you know, I got motions passed, I got amendments passed. I could go and speak to a minister, you know, because I hadn't yelled at them. The other interesting thing I did was I would send my questions to ministers hours in advance of question period. And they were all shocked. They were like, oh, thank you for that. This hasn't happened before. And I said, yeah, I'm not here to play a game of gotcha. I want real answers. These are problems my constituents are facing in Nanaimo Ladysmith. These are problems I've heard about from Canadians from coast to coast to coast. And so I'm not here to play a game. I'm here to get things done. And you know what? They really appreciate it. And it meant when COVID struck, and we had Canadians that were all over the world that were trying to get back to Canada. I had the ear of ministers, and I had assistance from ministers in helping get Canadians back. I ended up having to assist somebody, a family from Nelson, where a couple, the husband was in Haiti, and they were trying to bring their adoptive daughter back to Canada, and they didn't have, the paperwork was pretty much there, but you know, you I's to dot and T's to cross, and he refused to leave Haiti without this child. And so the mother was really upset, and they went to their MD, and their MD said, oh, there's nothing I can do about it. So they brought it to me. And my team and I, we fought really hard. We got that child and that father out of Haiti. And you know what happened after that? We became the Haiti rescue team. Seriously, we had other families with adopted kids in Haiti with conservative MPs who said, oh, we can't do anything about that. There's nothing we can do. It's like, well, we heard this other MP is able to do it. Well, we can't do anything about it. And they ended up coming to us. And so we got a whole bunch of children out of Haiti that needed to get out of Haiti. It's great to spend time with so many people on my birthday. So thank you all for coming out. I had a really memorable time in 2020 on my birthday. We had to close down Parliament. I think it was March 13th. Elizabeth's in the room now. It was somewhere around there, March 13th. Friday the 13th. And so everybody scrambled out of Ottawa, and we left. And you know what? We didn't have any protocols in place for running Parliament without actually being in person in Parliament. And so we were invited to come back to Parliament, representatives from different parties, and I was the one that represented the Green Party. And so all of the MPs were getting together, or representatives, a small Parliament, so that we could establish the rules to be able to conduct the business of the country on Zoom. And I got to fly to Ottawa on my birthday. It took 24 hours. I stopped in multiple airports, and I was like, so on my birthday, I was in the Vancouver airport, and there was nobody there, and every third seat didn't have a sign that said, make sure you're socially distanced. Don't sit here, don't sit here, don't sit here, sit here. Don't sit here, don't sit here, don't sit here, sit here. And then the announcement kept on coming on and said, please stay away from other people. Don't, keep your distance, minimum 6 feet. And I'm sitting there going, there's nobody here. Hey, look, there's a janitor. Hey, it's my birthday. Do you want to hang out? Right? So that's how I spent my birthday 2020. So it's nice to be here with folks. I spent a long, lonely time in Ottawa. I had a little box in the sky. It cost $500 if you got caught sitting on a park bench. You got a $500 fine in Ottawa for sitting on a park bench. So I bought myself a looper to entertain myself, and I started writing music, like just in my spare time. And I'm going to play a song for you now. Normally, what I would do is I would start out with my bass. I would just start with a little loop that went like this, with a little drum track. And then I'd pick up my bass and I'd start playing the bass line. Like this. And then I'd kick in the guitar. This is a song that kind of comes out of that school of the band, where you're writing about a situation. Nothing that I can relate to directly, but I thought about the world that Donald Trump is creating. And so that's the sort of first verse, where we're kind of at, where we're kind of heading. And the second verse is what happens when you create that situation. And then the third verse is about what we do about it. And then the chorus, I'm going to get you all to sing along. And I think we're popping up the lyrics. Look at that. I'm going to actually turn my guitar up so you can hear it. Walking down the street, smiles are every face she meets. There's beauty in the people passing by, struggling to meet the needs of the family, the people that she sees each day, struggling
This is
in the same way,
Spicy.
trying to meet their basic needs.
Taylor loves it.
With no
Good
way,
question.
high price corporate greed, and she said, this rich man's greed exacerbates the people's needs, builds up animosity, creates instability, recollecting what she heard based on Aristotle's words.
Six is cool, man.
That poverty leads to criminality and revolution.
But yeah, you're not wrong. Still caught in the 60s. You're not wrong about that. You guys are dancing. Weeks and months go by. Tensions arise and high frustration in the people builds each day. David.
Out there on the street,
good questions.
On the run, the cop keeps chasing,
Sure.
knocks her down. Bag of food is what he's got. Policeman yells and takes a shot. Wounded for some rice and beans. Angry mob is on the scene. Pretty soon the street is burning. Tear gas flies and rocks returning. She said it's fair to blame the results of this rich man's game of greed and inequality. Driving people to the streets fosters instability. Yeah, it's basic to psychology that poverty is the parent of criminality and revolution.
Yeah, somebody.
Poverty is the parent of criminality and revolution. Maybe coming out for a little while, meet my band meetings, and my lovely wife, Samantha, my good friend Chris over here, who plays the drums. And then this verse is about all the lovely people in this community that buckle down and do the work. Another year goes by.
Hey, he's pretty good. Mike. Styles, Mike.
Grooving to the funky beats, they worked in solidarity. Creating things
Yeah, really,
that
so
they
good
all
with my
need.
backpack and stuff.
Cooperation,
That's my
rejection,
gear.
creates a new society that's built on love, compassion, care, and leaves them all much better faring. She said this way to be, based on old philosophies, is how to build community that feeds the people what they
It's like a
need.
full
What
Tom
matters
Petty song.
most is what you've done, not who you are or where you're from, but driven by a moral fuel, still known as the golden rule. Yeah, what I wish for me, I wish for you. What I want for me, I want for you. What I need for me, you need it too. What I want for me, I want for you. You can all sing along now. What I
Wish for me, I wish for you.
what I want for me, I
Want for you,
what
what I need for me. You need it too.
What I want for you, I want for you. What I wish for me,
Very comic.
I wish for you. What I want for me, I want for you. What I need for me, you need it too. What I want for me, I want for you. Just repeat that line.
Good job.
Want for me, I want for you. What I want for me, I want for you. What I want for me, I want for you. That's why I'm running, because what I wish for me, I wish for you. Be able to walk in the woods and enjoy the forest and enjoy the vine person and living in this beautiful place to call home. I want to protect this country. I want to protect our sovereignty. I want to stand up to bullies like Donald Trump. We defend ourselves. That's why I'm running, because what I wish for me, I wish for you. What I want for me, I want
He's very
for you.
gorgeous.
What I need for me, you need it too. What I want for me,
I'm not.
I
Too.
want for you. For you. It's now my distinct pleasure. What I wanted for one younger man who's a year older today was to see him in the debates in the national debates. I just
the guy running for prime minister. He's coming up to speed.
By a rigged system.
This one was running for parliament. This one's running for actual prime minister.
They were afraid.
Thank you,
They
Butterfly.
had a reason to be afraid. Because our next speaker is an intelligent, articulate, driven young man who would have put shame to the leaders that were on that debate stage. And I am shocked that we had the leader of the Bloc Québécois speaking to the rest of Canadians when they only have candidates in Quebec. What's the matter with that? We have elected MPs in 2 different provinces, and we are running candidates in provinces across this country, and in the Northwest Territories and in the Yukon. What is the matter with that picture? Well, you didn't get to hear him in the debates, but you know what? You get to hear him now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Pednault.
Oh, thank you, Butterfly. That's fun. He had fun on the ferry today. This is not that fun for him, though.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be back in Nanaimo, and we are turning Nanaimo green, my friends. We will get our Manley back in Ottawa. Thanks to all of you. It's so good to be here. I'm not a birthday guy, I won't lie. Honestly, most of the time I try it. No, I've never been much of a birthday guy. So 2 years ago, I was just hiding in Ukraine, for example, trying to get a better sense of the conflict there. Last year, I was also hiding, but this year, I was forced to come in front of so many wonderful people because we've got some amazing work to do, all of us. And actually, I cannot think of a more beautiful birthday present for myself and for this community than seeing so many of you united here today to celebrate not so much birthdays, but the renewal of this community, because we will send Paul Manley back to Ottawa. And we will send Elizabeth May back to Ottawa. And we will elect more Greens, and we will resend Mike Morris to Ottawa. We've got a lot of work. They think that they silenced us by kicking us out of the debates, but do you think they did? No, I don't think they did either. I don't think they did. And one thing I do know is that you cannot silence ideas, and you cannot silence people who have a cause in their hearts. We've got so much work to do, and that work continues until April 28th, but it really starts on April 29th. Your job, my friends, will not be done on April 29th. Our job starts on that day to turn Canada into a land that we can be proud to pass on to our children. That is our most sacred duty. And right now, we've got politicians who keep on telling us to settle down, that we can't possibly have it all right now, that this is a time of crisis, and that we need to tighten our belts and, be not be as generous as we should be, or as we could be. But the truth is that this country is extremely rich. It's rich in natural resources and in money, but most of all, it's rich in people. It's really rich. Canadians are generous and good-willed. And for too long, they've been hearing from politicians who tell them to settle down, wait, and don't dream big. Take your time, take it slow. And we just won't be patient anymore. We cannot afford to be patient. We need to fight because our future is on the line. Our future is on the line. Paul touched on so many of the reasons that explain why we are here today. Our communities are suffering. Climate change is continuing unabated. Canada is falling woefully short of its promise, not only to future generations, but to Canadians here and now. And the good news is that Greens have solutions to all of these problems. We can make sure that housing becomes a right. There is no reason in a country rich like the one we have for people living out in the streets. There is no reason in a country rich like ours for people having no access to basic health care, to a family doctor. There is no reason in a country rich like ours for children to have to worry about how they will possibly be able to pay for their education down the road. Nor is there any reason for young adults to start out in life with huge debts because they did the right thing, they went to school, got an education, and now have $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt.
No damn reason!
No damn reason. There is no reason. Recently, in fact, Elizabeth's husband did an amazing job of costing our platform, working with the parliamentary budget officer. And there is one thing we discovered, and it makes me so angry. There is one thing we discovered, a 0.2% tax on financial transactions. Not when you go to the bank and take out money, not those financial transactions, the big ones, the stock market and the foreign exchange market. 0.2% tax on those transactions would yield over 5 years $250-some billion in revenues. $250-some billion in revenues. That's an awful lot of money.
Let's do it.
Why have they not done this? Think of how many houses we could build, how many children we could send to school, why have they not done this? The only way we'll ever get an answer, my friends, because it's not enough to sell hope and to say that, we're gonna do this and that, but how are we gonna pay for it? Where are we gonna get the money? Well, Greens do the work of actually figuring it out. And that's not nothing. Because without concrete numbers, you can't possibly expect people to follow you. And that differentiates us from some other progressive parties. That and the courage to stand strong in our values, to make sure that there is a livable future for our children. I don't know if you listen to the debate, but over and over again we heard from Jagmeet Singh that he cares about climate and whatnot, and consistently I couldn't help but to wonder, why was there no mention of climate change in your supply and confidence agreement? Why did you allow these liberal ministers to pander to the idea that they're doing so much on climate while they're buying a pipeline? Exactly. Why did you not ask the tough questions? Greens stand strong on value and honesty, and they stand strong for their communities. Stand strong. They stand strong, and if there is one thing that Nanaimo Lady Smith already knows, it is that this man is a fighter, and he will fight for you. But now I need each and every one of you to fight for him. Because we will need each and every one of you to go and knock on doors, to go and spread the good word that we can and we will elect a Green in the Nanaimo State. And if you know people in Saanich called Fine, and I know a lady, she can use as many hands as well to make sure that we spread the word. Again, this is a tough election, my friend. This is a tough election. They cut us off from the debates, the whole and it is a shame. And it is a shame. It is a shame. But we will continue undeterred. We have to.
we have to. And I'm counting on each and every one of you. So thank you, my friends. Thank you for being here. I think I'm passing the word to you.
How does one follow Jonathan Pednault? How do we be the next speaker? I have been hearing from people across the country who just say, oh my gosh, he's so dynamic. What a speaker. Where did you guys find him? He's young, he's vibrant. Can we please have one more hand for Jonathan Pednault? Our next speaker is a powerhouse. I heard a little bit earlier for the warm-up how lucky was I. An artist, an advocate, and an unapologetic voice for change. Quana Styles is a two-spirit Cree performer who's been breaking barriers in music, drag, film, and activism. She's been featured on Canada's Drag, One Queen, Five Queers, and in the powerful web series, Quana Transop, which documents her personal journey and fearless advocacy. Quana has lit up stages across the country, sharing space with artists like Peaches, the iconic Fifth Naked, and her music has earned spots on the Billboard's dance charts. I love to dance. But today, she's here to do what she does best. Speak her truth, lift others up, and remind us that our voices and our votes matter. Please give it up for the incomparable, unstoppable Quana Styles!
Goodness, hello. Good day, everybody. My name is Quana Styles. I hail from the Cree First Nations in Treaty 8 territory, and I'm thrilled to be here with you all today to make a difference and a change in this world. I am an entertainer first and foremost. You guys will see me a lot on more TV next year. I'm wrapping 3 movies in the next 3 months. You might know my dad from Moose Meat and Marmalade, the hit TV show on APTN. That's my dad, Arthur. I'm going to be bringing him back on TV. We're filming a new TV show. It's the world's first ever all indigenous cast romance reality competition series. We'll be filming in August. It'll be out next year. I'm so excited. But I'm a little scared. I have seen everything that has been going on in America with our neighbors. I'm an indigenous trans woman, and I have lived past the life expectancy almost by double. The statistics for trans youth are alarming. Almost half of us don't survive past the age of 20. Not everybody has to agree with how I choose to live my life, but I need our allies to stand behind us now more than ever. It is so scary, you guys. It is so scary. I have seen our rights. My brothers, my sisters, my two-spirit, LGBT, two-spirit plus, gender non-conforming brothers and sisters of mine. We all have an inherent value as human beings, and we are all worth the same, and there is no reason why I should be fighting for basic human rights in 2025. It is so scary, and that's why our votes matter more than ever. I need our allies to stand next to me and to let them know that we are not going anywhere. I did not choose to be an advocate. I became one because I had no other choice. I would love to just sit back and make music and TV for you guys, but last year the election came so close. so close to me losing my rights, so close to me losing all of the growth that I have had since the time. I'm 36 now, y'all, so you don't have your cameras out, right? Okay. So seeing the growth that I had seen coming from a small remote northern community, and seeing the growth that I felt that I had seen in my life made me so proud. It made me so proud to feel like I was part of that shit, part of that acceptance, so that, I don't know if you guys have a gay family, if you have a trans daughter, a gay nephew, a gay son, like, stand by us, please. I have faced a lot of adversity and discrimination in my life, but I have never backed down from who I am. I don't expect everybody to get exactly what I do, who I am. Like, maybe it's not for everybody, and that is okay, but I'm not trying to take away your human rights. So let's just chill a bit, okay, honey? I have been overlooked, I have been excluded and told to wait my turn, and every time I have used that volume to turn it up and stand against the voices who speak against me. I want everybody to know that they do have a place in this world. Anybody who sees themselves reflected in me, Indigenous people, gay people, trans people, we are all the same. We all deserve inherent rights as human beings. If you've ever felt like nobody was listening, this is your moment to be heard. This election counts more than ever. With Trump's America has scared the shit out of me, you guys. Like, come on. Let's pull it together. Honestly, I was nervous to speak here today because I have never used my voice for politics. I am an entertainer. I try to stay out of it. But when the election was so close last year, I really almost resented myself for not using my voice and my platform to speak up and encourage everybody to get out there and vote. We don't get changed by waiting. We get changed by showing up, by voting, and by demanding better. I would like to say to everybody, thank you for showing up here today, and that I believe in leaders who endure. I believe in leaders who actually show up for human rights. That's why I'm standing with you all here today for the Green Party. That's why I'm standing with Paul Manley, and this is the riding, and to keep this riding from going to conservatives, to keep us all moving forward in a good way. Let's go, y'all. All right, I hope everybody's doing good. I'm so happy to be here. Gakyo Nwagamaganuk, all my relations. We are the change, not someday, right now. And we're not asking for permission anymore. Stand up, let's hear your voices, please. Oh my God. Thank you. So growing up,
Got excited.
there was not a lot of places for Indigenous artists in music, in TV and film, and I've created sort of a path now that I'm giving other people
Guys, the phone's
pay it
getting
forward,
tight,
like
so
giving back
bye-bye.
these
See you later.
opportunities. And this is a love song.